All right, jeez. All right, I think I'm I think I might be back. I think this might be working. All right. All right, we are on. I think we're on Twitch. All right, we are live on Twitch. We are. Okay, thank God. Jeez, I am literally having the worst day today. Not actually, but it's just been one of those days where everything is stressing me the fuck out. Stress. Like I just lost my mind. Make sure we're live on TikTok. All right. This is all good. Yo, if you guys are in here, just type something in the chat so I know this is working. All right, we are live. All right, yo, Steel, Jesus, dude, I literally had like a meltdown. I'm sweating. It is so hot in my studio, and nothing has been working for me. It's been something. But all right, let's get into it. Yo, Shavi, what's up? Why you not calling me, dude? I'm so sorry. Today has been such a shit day. Honestly, it really has. Let me just mention on the Discord we are live. Start event. Boom. Oh, dude, I like just nothing was working for me for whatever reason. I just don't know why. I don't have an answer. Is that okay? There we go. All right. Yo, what's up, everybody on TikTok? Everybody on Twitch, everybody on YouTube, I am here. My meltdown is over. I'm ready to get started. So today I want to be today I plan to sort of try to write a track as fast as I can, but then also explain some things along the way. So I'm gonna go over like how to make a side bass. I'm gonna go over this insane spectral dynamic EQ that I made, which is like basically a very cheap alternative to something like Soothe or Track Spacer, and that's all Ableton native. And then I'm gonna be talking about how to make some Schranz loops, like some hi-hats loops, and talking about saturation, how to just create loud mixes. I got a lot of requests. I posted a Instagram story where I asked, I was like, yo, what do you guys want me to go over? And a lot of people talked about mixing and like EQing and saturation, how to get loud mixes, how to get nice like loud masters. So I'm gonna go over all that today. But right now, oh, another thing I want to do, I'm gonna design like this cool just like this melodic techno like saw. It's just super classic. But right now I have this kick loop that I made. Actually, you're definitely not gonna be able to hear that. Hold on. Alright, you can definitely hear that. Same kick we used last. It's just so good. I love the way this kick sounds. Yo, what's up, Esmin? How we doing? So the first thing I want to go over is in hard techno, especially lately, everything has been like about hard dance, whether it's like reverse basses, off basses, or side basses. So what I want to go over is how to make a side bass within the scope of hard techno. And this is all gonna like lead into one another. So it's gonna be really nice. So what I typically do is anytime I'm working on making like a Sybase, I like to have like a reference. So I have this like Cashmere Sybase loop. So I just want to take this first one. Actually, no, this last phrase I really like. So that is sounding really good. I love the way this sounds, but I want to make my own Sybase in SERUM. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a new SERUM onto a new track. And this Sybase is in E, so I'm going to go ahead and make a MIDI clip. And I'm going to play 16th notes at E. Let's drop them down a few octaves. We'll duplicate this. We'll duplicate this across so we have a full bar of 16th notes. And this is what it sounds like. Not very good. So the next thing I want to do is open up this plugin called SciScope. I'm going to put a SciScope on the reference Sybase. We'll call this reference Sci. And we'll call this SERUM Sci. And this SciScope plugin is so awesome because you can open it up and it's like a really useful oscilloscope. So you can kind of look at it and just see what it looks like. Let's find that, see what that looks like. So this Cashmere Sci has a little bit of a messy waveform, but I just love how it sounds. So let's go ahead. We have SciScope on our SERUM. And this is what it looks like, and we're not even close right now. So the first thing I like to do when I'm making a Sybase is I'll go to oscillator A, and I'm going to turn the random all the way down. And the reason why I want to do that is if we open up this SciScope, and let's make this envelope 1 a little shorter. So if we have the random phase all the way up, you can see that this waveform is actually moving around, and that's not going to give us a consistent sound. So what we're going to want to do is turn the random phase down. So then if we look at SciScope again, the waveform starts at the same spot every single time. So we're going to have a really consistent sound. So the basis of a Sybase is just a low, plucky bass. And so how we can get that pluck is by running this waveform or running these oscillators through a low pass filter. So a low pass filter is just a filter that cuts off the highs and it allows the lows to pass through. So we're going to turn on our low pass filter. I like using MG Low 18. And I'm going to leave SciScope open the whole time. I'll put this down here. So you can see that the waveform is getting less sharp, and that's because we're cutting off a lot of those highs. It's looking a lot more like a sine wave. So what we can do is start shaping this Sybase. So what we want to do is, first, I like to start with the actual envelope. So I'm going to take the sustain all the way down, make sure the release is at something kind of short, and take the decay short enough to where the waveform is ending right before the next one starts. So I like this at 90 right here. Then what we want to do is we can take envelope 1 and drag this on the cutoff of our filter. And then what I want to do is take the resonance down all the way. And so all I'm going to do is really just play with this cutoff and play with this modulation until I get a sound that I'm starting to like. So if I'm listening to this psi, this reference psi, it sounds like there might be two layered on top of each other, one being an octave higher. Let's play around with this. And this is just all like part of my process is I'm just gonna like experiment. So I'm gonna experiment with different waveforms. So I really like how that sounds. So maybe we want to add that saw back. So I'm gonna turn on oscillator B, make sure the random phase is all the way down, drop it down an octave, and then I'm gonna go back to this filter and make sure that B is selected because we also want oscillator B to be running through. And that's sounding really good. Like I really like that tone. And it sounds very tonal and it just sounds nice. So something else we can do, we can go into the matrix and without adjusting envelope 1, because we like where envelope 1 is for our decay, we can actually go into the matrix and adjust this curve right here. And if I drag this down, it's going to make the modulation for the filter cutoff a little bit shorter. Or we can make it a little bit longer. I actually do like where it is right now. So let's throw a sidechain on and real quick, just see where we are. What we want to do is open up Kickstart 2, because if you look at this reference psi, you can see that this first hit is quiet, the quietest. The second hit is slightly louder. And then the third and fourth are like full volume. The third is actually maybe a little quieter than the fourth one. So we're going to go ahead and recreate that with, actually, instead of Kickstart 2, let's open up LFO tool for our sidechain. And if we unsolo that and play with the kick, and that sounds really good. Something that I want to do is create like a little zap transient in the beginning. So the way I like to do that, it's kind of complicated, but I've really liked the results that it's gotten me. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take LFO 1. I'm going to make a really like short pluck. And I'm going to put this on envelope mode and I'm going to open up the matrix, take LFO 1, route this to global master tune. And then when it says type, I'm going to change that from unipolar to bipolar. Now, that's making a very short pluck, but what I actually want to do is turn on the sub oscillator, drop this down an octave, and I'm going to actually modulate the sub oscillator to turn on really fast and off really fast. So if we take LFO 2 and we turn that on envelope mode and we turn the rate up, let's just turn off oscillator A and B so we can hear what's going on. This is where sci-scope really comes in handy. We want to make this a little longer. And we want this to be like a zap in the front. This actually isn't. Maybe it's because I did it with oscillator B. Let's go to oscillator B and try it. So I'm going to turn off that saw. And actually, I'm just going to use the saw from the sub to replace that first saw. And I'm going to take this LFO 1 and map this to the coarse pitch of oscillator B. Yeah, there we go. Now we have like a nice zap. Let's take this LFO2 and put it on the level of oscillator B. So now we have this nice zap in the front. And then what we're gonna do is take LFO2 and also put this on the level of oscillator A, but we're gonna reverse it. So we have it on oscillator B, so the zap is turning on and then shutting off real quick. For oscillator A, we want it to be off, and then oscillator A turns on real quick. So if we look at SciScope, if we zoom in, you can see we have this nice clean transient in the front, and then that transitions to our Sci really quickly. So let's do the same thing for the sub oscillator. So we have this nice clean zap, and then it transitions right into our Sci. So what we can do is go to LFO2, and we can speed this up. And that's looking really good. Like that goes from this nice clean zap and just goes right into the Sci bass. And we can just play around with these envelopes. Yo, I just saw this comment. Yo, you're the dude who wrote from Ukraine. Yo, I really appreciate that. That is awesome. Yo, what's up from France? How's it going? Yo, so glad you guys are tuning in. This is some real like nerd level shit, but it's fun. So let's play around with this envelope 1. Ooh, let's zoom in. We can add some detune on oscillator A. And what we can do is let's go into the matrix, and right where we have this modulation on LFO1, I'm gonna map this to macro 2, and this other modulation for LFO1, map that to macro 2. So now we can adjust the intensity of the beginning of this pluck. Let's try adjusting this wavetable. And you can see right here, we can actually move. And this is why I like having random phase. Right here, we can move this phase so it connects like perfectly. I actually like that. Let's just keep that. So now on to the effects. Let me my phone's good enough charging. I haven't been looking at these TikTok comments. Gotta move the TikTok screen over a little bit. Sorry about that. Okay. There we go. So for the effects, typically I'm just gonna use my ear. Like I already really like how this sounds. So I think what I'm gonna start with is a compressor. And I have this preset called Easy OTT. And then I'm gonna turn on the filter. And this is like always the first two things that I do. And I have another preset called Drive. Let's actually just recreate this. So if you turn on the filter, let's go back to normal. If you turn on the filter, you can actually use this as a clipper. And this is like all I really use it for. So I'm gonna go to miscellaneous, go to high EQ 6. And if you turn it off, it doesn't make a difference. And that's exactly what I want, because what I can do is turn this drive up. And now it's like fully clipped. It's fully clipped at 0. So if we hit tab and we go ahead and see the output gain, it's peaking at 1.67 no matter how much we drive this. So it's going up to 1.73. So what I want to do is, so I'm not going over 0 decibels, is I want to turn this master volume down. So the trick that I use is I turn the master volume down to negative 12.1, and then you can actually click on this mix knob right here and go to the level and set that to -1. And now you can see that on this track, we're peaking at -1. So that's a really good way to be able to like make your sounds loud in SERUM. So let's listen to this with the kick and see if we need to do anything else. That sounded really good. I really like the way that sounds. So let's just go to our envelope. Ooh. Oh, I really like how that sounds. So a way we can control that is we can go into the matrix and find that modulation. So envelope 1, it's controlling the filter cutoff. Let's set the auxiliary source to macro 1. We'll call this filter envelope. We'll call this punch. We'll call this attack. So this filter envelope basically is like a dry wet for how much this envelope is going to be modulating the filter. So then we can do another, and this is what I do. I just play around with different elements like the detune, and I'm like, maybe I want a macro to adjust that. So I'll put macro 3 on the detune. We'll call this detune. And maybe I want a macro on the random phase in case I want to turn the random phase up a bit. But it's really just so key. I just love the way that that this extra punch. In the beginning, it just gives the sound a lot more like presence. So let's go back to the effects. There's other stuff we can do too. Like we have our foundational sound. Yo, so the headphones, Audeze LCD-X's. They're amazing. Everybody, I swear to God, everybody must comment like once a video about how big my headphones are. They're I don't know if you guys have ever seen my ears, honestly. This might be a big ear reveal. LCD, yeah, let me see. I'll put it up to the camera. Audeze LCD-X. Boom. They're sick. They are pretty expensive. Honestly, if I were to do it again, I would get the LCD-XC, which is the closed back version. It just creates a little bit more, what's the word? Isolation. So anyway, the foundation of our Sybase is really sick. Love the way it sounds. So what we can do is just kind of get a little experimental with the effects. So something that I like to do to add some interesting stereo might be use hyper and dimension. So you can see when we turn it up, we get that like phasing sound. We can fix that by turning retrig on. So I experimented. I don't like how that sounds. Maybe let's try the dimension. Don't really like how that sounds either. Maybe we'll try the chorus. I have this. And I'm looking for that stereo effect, but I'm not quite finding it. So I think maybe I'm just going to be left with the stereo that I can get from the detune. And I kind of like that, like a little bit of detune, a little bit of random phase. Let's listen to what it sounds like with the kick. I really like how that sounds. And that's basically my Sybase. It's super tedious, but I do think all of that work really does pay off in the end because Sybases are a lot harder than they seem. It's not like doing one poorly isn't hard, but doing really great Sybases is kind of tricky sometimes. So yeah, that is the I haven't looked at the comments in literally so long. I'm so sorry. Yo, Magic Trooper, if you're still in here, stoked that you're in the live stream. Ben, what is good? I'm doing good. I had a literal meltdown earlier, so I'm maybe not doing great. Today's just been one of those days. It's been really stressful. But we're here. We made it to the stream. Yo, finally made it. Dude, you helped me tremendously with how to take kicks to another level. We'll keep supporting you, mate. Yo, thank you guys so much. I seriously appreciate the kind words. And yeah, live streaming has been great lately. It's been a lot of fun doing it. It's taught me a lot. I've gotten to experiment a lot, so it's been great. Rocking my my Buc-ee's Christmas mug. Shout out Buc-ee's. If you know, you know. All right. So next thing I wanted to talk about is this spectral dynamic EQ. This is going to be a fun one. I am excited to show you guys this. So the way this spectral dynamic EQ works is very similar to Track Spacer and Soothe. If you're not familiar with either of those, basically, let's open up Soothe. So if we put this on the Sybase, Soothe is, I believe it's like a spectral, the way I refer to it is like a spectral dynamic EQ. So if anyone's familiar with Soothe, it is a very powerful plugin of what you can do. It's like borderline like too powerful. There's so much you can do in it. But essentially what it does is I like to think of it like a multi-band compressor, but with no limitations as far as the bands. So as you turn this depth knob up, you can dynamically EQ certain parts of the sound. You can also dynamically sidechain EQ certain parts of the sound. But Soothe is a very expensive plugin. And so I wanted to challenge myself to see if I could make a cheaper alternative, and I did. So we have this plugin called the Raveyard Dynamic Spectral EQ 1.0. So if we look at it, it just looks like an EQ right here. But if we press play, if we turn this smooth knob up, the EQ is dancing. It is dancing. So how this works is inside of this rack, there is a gigantic rack with a bunch of EQs. So there's basically a bunch of EQs on individual tracks, and it's picking up the frequencies from each band. And then there's an envelope follower that's reading that, and that is what is modulating. That is what is modulating this EQ. So it's really nice for like smoothing out certain parts of the track. And I just love the way it looks. It loads up super fast. Doesn't add any latency, and it's $5 on our site. Literally, it's for sale for $5 compared to Oak Sound Soothe. Let's see how much this is. I mean, $220. Like, get out of here. Soothe is really sick. Soothe is more powerful, but I don't use nearly any or half the features on Soothe, to be honest. Like, I really don't. So for $5, you kind of can't beat this. So I'm gonna just like dive in to just show you how this works. So this works in multiple ways. You can either soothe out the actual sound. So we have soothe or smooth, which is basically the intensity of this effect. Then we have Q factor, which sharpens the individual bands. So if we turn this up all the way, as we turn the Q factor down, it gets a little bit more broad, which is nice for smoothing out a few other things. Then we have this decay knob, which as soon as the envelope follower is triggered, you can turn the decay up and it will return back to normal a little bit slower. Then we have focus low cut and focus high cut. This focus low cut will basically be like, I don't want the lows to be touched at all. So now the highs are only being tamed. And if we want to focus high cut, we can maybe turn the low cut back down all the way and tell the plugin that we only want the lows to be affected. So that's all cool in itself, but my favorite part has to be the sidechain feature. So I like this for mixing low end together, whether it's kick and bass, bass and sub, anything like that. To me, sidechaining this way is a lot more useful than any other method that I've ever done. So if we take a listen to the sigh with the kick, let's go ahead and put a sigh scope on the master and see what's going on. Okay, hold on. We got to do the master. So this might be a really good time to sidechain one thing to the other. So I think what I want to do is I want the bass from the sigh to really come through. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna put this spectral dynamic EQ on the kick itself. And what I can do is insert sidechain, and I am going to, or let's see, what do I want to do? Okay. So let's start this over. So my favorite feature about this is definitely, okay. So my favorite feature about this dynamic spectral EQ has to be the sidechain portion. So if you turn on sidechain, so we have this spectral or dynamic spectral EQ on the side bass. If we turn the smooth all the way up, you can see it's taking effect, but if we turn the sidechain up, it's no longer working. So what I want to do is I don't want the lows of the side bass interfering with the lows of the kick. So what I can do is go into this insert sidechain section, select audio from, and then I'm going to pick my kick right here. And basically what's going to happen, if we turn this down, this compressor is listening to the kick. And now instead of the side bass that's coming through and affecting everything, now it's just listening to the kick. So let's press play and I'll gradually drag the smooth knob up. And if we turn the kick off, let's do post effects. Let's do post mixer. So if I turn the kick off, it's no longer side chaining. So this is really nice for sort of creating room in the mix without having to sidechain using just volume. So what I typically like to do is turn the focus high cut down. So I'm only affecting the lows. And then the great part too is you can just take these bands and slide them left to right. And it's hard to hear, but you definitely create a little bit more headroom so you can have a louder mix, but also a cleaner mix. So this plugin is on our site. Let's see, Ableton Racks. Yeah, $5 on our site. It's a goddamn steal. It's definitely a steal. It's awesome. So yeah, do you use any? Okay, hold on one sec. Yeah, Soothe is crazy expensive. So yeah, I love the way this works. Another way to use it is putting it on, like, if you have vocals and synths together, put it on your synths and sidechain it to the vocals. So every time the vocals duck out, or every time the vocals come in, the synths will like duck themselves out. It's super useful. I use it all the time, and it's definitely made mixing so much easier for me. So we have our volume sidechain, we have our spectral sidechain. Sounds way cleaner. Yo, Zarky, you're a good producer, bro. Yo, thank you so much. I appreciate it. So let's see. All right. Sounds really good. Okay, so what I want to talk about next is making like Schranz loop, like these nice top end loops. So some examples of that are this, like loops that sound like this. Those are really nice. Also, I have these rave top loops. Just these top loops sound so good. So for making Schranz loops, what I like to do is create like 4 audio tracks and group them. And then what I'm going to type in is VEC loop. I'm going to type that in my search bar. These are vengeance loops. These are some of the oldest samples that I have on my computer. Some of the first ones. So they sound really good. And basically all I'm going to do is I'm going to start piecing them together to create a groove I want. And then I'm going to process the hell out of it. So let's go through and find one that I like. So I really like this one. I want to start chopping it up. So let's go ahead. I'm going to chop this first one out. And let's just listen to these 2 quarter notes. So that's maybe like one part of it. And basically I'm just going to find more of these loops and just chop different parts that I like. That's fine. That might be nice. And then basically I'll just start adding, subtracting. Something else I want to do, let's put on LFO tool because I want to create like a nice side chain pump. That sounds really good. Let's add a clap in there. I like doing this like reverse clap. And then let's add an actual clap. And that's like a nice groove right there. But what I want to do is start saturating it and just giving it a ton of character. So we have our groove. First thing I like to add is a shifter. Because sometimes I like to pitch it down. Then maybe I'll add an EQ, cut out some of the lows. Maybe an overdrive. Sometimes I like to add another shifter and just pitch it back up. And that kind of sounds like a wall of noise. So we're getting closer. But something I like to do is add an auto pan. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust this auto pan so we can get like a nice chop going on. So first thing I'm going to do is turn on the BPM mode. Going to leave the rate at 16, take the drag the amount all the way up. Now I'm going to take the phase all the way down. So the left and right are in phase with one another. And I want to take this to a downward saw. Maybe let's take this clap and duplicate it outside the group. So that is sounding really good right now. I love that groove. So that is basically just how I make these Schranz loops. And one thing I might do is just resample it to audio just to make sure it's like looking good. So I really like that, but I think what I want to do is take this LFO tool and maybe adjust it. So that's sounding really good right there. So something I'm noticing really quick, and this is gonna like segue right into my next point, is this waveform is really dynamic. So if we look at this waveform, or if we actually hit tab and we go ahead and see what this is peaking at, this is peaking at plus 2 dBs. And so something that I've been doing to get like really loud and clean mixes where I don't have to do a lot of compression on my master is I've been clipping groups as I'm mixing. So you may have heard people talk about this. I know there was like videos and things on like, oh my God, Skrillex like bus clips everything. What? And like, yeah, you basically are just clipping your sounds in the mix phase rather than the master phase. So everything is a math problem. So all of these groups right here, we play everything. So let's say we have our kick. I'm gonna rename these. We have our sigh, we have our clap, we have our top loops. And let's go ahead, we're gonna delete this. So these are our 4 groups. And to get to this view, what I'm doing is I'm hitting tab. This is gonna take us to the session view. And the reason why I like being in the session view is because you get a good look at this mixer and it'll give you the actual readouts of the dBs, like of the actual peak. So if we, right now we can see this is hitting the limiter. And basically all of these tracks are adding up together and it is creating a number. And if that number is too high, the limiter is gonna have to go into effect and bring that number down. So what we can do is actually clip in stages. So we can put a clipper on the master, but what's going to happen is if the top loops are the thing triggering the clipper first, it's going to clip and distort the entire track. So what we can do is clip in stages so we have more headroom by the time we get to the master. So there's a bunch of free plugins. There is this plugin called K-Clip 0 that I really like. This is a free plugin by Kazrog. And what you can do is you can hit this link button. So just by putting this on, let's do a test real quick. If I press play, it's peaking at 2.8 dBs. So that's like almost 3 decibels above 0. If we put this K-Clip 0 on, sounds exactly the same, but now it's clipping, now it's peaking at like -2. So right off the rip, we just saved 5 dBs of headroom. So now let's go ahead and look at our master. The limiter is still being hit, but if we can save 5 dBs here just by turning this plugin on, we could probably save it elsewhere too. But let's go ahead and I'm just going to show you real quick how this plugin works. This is called K-Clip 0. It's free. It's by Kazrog. I just downloaded it the other day. It's amazing. So if we listen to this top loop, just by having it on, we save 5 dBs of headroom. We're peaking at 1.90. But what I want to do is see how low I can get that number, because I'm trying to save space in the mix for other things. So you can turn the volume up and make it louder. You can turn the volume down. But what I like to do is turn this link button on. So as I'm turning the input gain up, the output gain is being turned down. And you'll see this number just starts to drop. And what I like to do is basically drive this until it sounds really noticeable and then pull back a little. So that sounds pretty, still sounds great. Like, it still sounds good to me. Still sounds around the same volume, but it sounds a little like too compressed. It doesn't sound as dynamic as before. So I'm just going to pull back a little. And now we can see it's peaking at -8.2. So we went from peaking at like 2 or 2.8 to now peaking at -8.2. So that's literally a 11 decibel swing. So now we have 11 more dBs of headroom in this particular area. So we can do the same thing with the clap. Now this clap is already pretty smashed. So what I'm gonna do is actually make a clap group, and I'm gonna add another clap that has more of a transient on it. So now we have our clap tail and we have our clap transient. So this clap group is peaking at -9.2. So basically like -1 dBs. Let's try putting this K-Clip 0 on this group. And we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to open it up. I'm going to press link, and I'm going to start dragging this up until it sounds bad. Sounds really like smooth the way it like clips everything. I like it right there. So let's see where we're at. We're at -9.78. So we just took a sound that was peaking at -1. Now it's peaking at -9.7. Let's go ahead and let's do it to the side bass as well. So I'm going to put this before the side chain, because I don't want the low parts of the side chain to be driven in. I want the sound itself to be clipped and then the side chain to take place. So if we turn off K-Clip, let's see where the side bass is. -2.45. Now we've already done a fair amount of clipping in SERUM, but I want to see what this sounds like if we use K-Clip. Turn on link. And I actually like the tonal. I actually like the character it introduced to it. So now this side bass went from peaking at -2.45 to -6, and it sounds great. So all together, if we press play, the track still sounds great. It still sounds really smooth. It's absolutely pumping, but we've saved so much space as far as headroom goes across this mix just using this free plugin called Kazrog, or called K-Clip 0. So this is how you clip in stages to get a loud, clean track, because when we get to our master, it's like barely hitting our limiter like it was before. If we turn all these off, and listen. And let's get a more visual limiter. So let's do Pro L2. We'll open that up. So that's without any of the K clip. We're seeing the limiter in some places has to limit up to 6 dBs. So let's go back and turn the K clips on. And now. The limiter is literally working half as hard. Track sounds exactly the same. So that's what you do if you want loud, clean mixes. You need to clip in stages. Yo, what's up? What's up? Sorry, I've been like so in the zone. Maybe it's a video. No, this is live. Akos, what's up? I've just been so in the zone right now. I had super stressful day. Finally just producing. I actually really like how this sounds. This is sounding cool. Yo, you said, hey, just started doing techno in FL Studio. I heard about Ableton, but what's the difference? So Ableton and FL are both amazing. Like, some people get so passionate about the difference between FL and Ableton. It literally does not matter. There are certain things that Ableton can do that FL can't. There's certain things that FL can do that Ableton can't. I happened to start producing on Ableton. Well, I started on Reason, then went to Logic, then went to Ableton. My God, my dog is freaking out. Oh my God. You hear that? Okay, I'm gonna have to pause. Edgar, come on. Edgar. My dog's name is Edgar. He's an absolute menace. So yeah, it really doesn't matter which one you start on. It's all about what you're comfortable with. However, what I will say, one difference, if you are, I think there's more resources and tutorials out for Ableton than FL, specifically in the electronic dance music space. If you are a hip hop producer, I would 1000% recommend you to work on FL Studio, because I think more of the community works on FL Studio in hip hop than Ableton. But I think when it comes to dance music, there's more Ableton users than FL Studio users. But use whatever you're comfortable with. Use whatever you enjoy using. It does not matter at the end of the day. There is no difference. Any tips for trance bass mix? Honestly, I'm not too familiar with like the trance bass stuff. And yeah, I appreciate the love. I speak. Yeah, I have a Twitch. I'm streaming on Twitch right now. It's a Raveyard sound, or it's twitchtv.com/Raveyard sounds. Do you hear that? Of course you hear that. It's insane. Ed! Oh my God. He's wild. Sample that dog? No, I hear enough of him. I'm actually good on that. I don't need to hear him anymore. To understand the program is kind of hard. I heard that Ableton is kind of easier. So if you're still in the beginning stages of learning how to produce, and you're not like in love with one program over the other, I would definitely go to Ableton. I think there's more tutorials out there. I think there's more like relevant tutorials out there. Almost every tutorial I see is using Ableton, and I don't really see a lot of FL tutorials as much. I see you have K-Clip, but I can never get it to sound decent. I still use Free Clip and G-Clip. Yo, that's so funny you say that, because I have K-Clip 3, and I do not like K-Clip 3 at all. I like literally hate it. I don't use K-Clip 3, but this is K-Clip 0. And all it does is it just clips the sound. It literally is kind of does what G-Clip does. But I love the way this sounds. It sounds so smooth. It sounds so good. I almost can't believe it. So this is what I've been using instead of G-Clip. You can also do it with a saturator, but it just does not work nearly as good as K-Clip 0 does. And K-Clip 0 is free. So it just like, I'm not even going to go into how to do it with saturator because it doesn't sound nearly as good. So the fact that this has this link feature, I can't recommend anything else. This is such a great free plugin. I just got it the other day. I've been using it nonstop. And it sounds great. And it just like does wonders for my mix downs. Like, I don't really have to master tracks anymore. I just spend time like coloring each individual element in the mix. And I don't have to like do all these tricks at the end to like get my track loud. That's such a common misconception, is people think that you need to like master your track to get it loud, but it's not true at all. Like if we open up like Insight, and like I don't even have any synths in here, so it wouldn't even be as loud. So let's go ahead, turn off the Pro L, and let's do K-Clip 0 again, because like, why not? I'm talking about it, you know? So this is my master, and this is how loud my master is with literally nothing happening. So if I wanted to, I wouldn't want to hit link for this because I don't want to turn my master down. I just want to turn up the gain into the master. Let's just see how that sounds. Like, that's really loud. Sounds good though. I really like how it sounds. So I might actually leave it. So soft clip most of my channels with glue compressed and then soft clip my master with free clip. Honestly, I really don't like soft clipping. I don't. I just like it takes so much life out of it. I feel like if I need to soft clip, I will, but like you don't need to soft clip. I'm pretty sure K-Clip 0 is a hard clipper and you can soften it with this knob. But I actually want to add a lead to this. I really like the way this sounds. So I kind of want to add, some sort of like some, what's it called? I want to make like a detuned saw lead, and I want to do it all in SERUM. So we have this half bar loop. Let's just duplicate everything across. And let's make this 1 bar loop into an 8 bar loop. So I think I want something that goes So I'm gonna just like come up with that idea in my head. So 1, 2, 3. So I counted that out. That is a 2 bar loop. So we have SERUM open. I'm gonna make sure that this MIDI editor preview is turned on. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that is our MIDI pattern right there. What I'm gonna do is drag this across so it keeps looping. Let's see, actually, what key are we in now for this? We're in E. I think I need to go up. Okay, I'm gonna redo this. So, I'm gonna start typing this pattern in. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All I'm gonna start typing this pattern in. Five. All right, and let's drag this handle across so it continues to loop across the pattern. So I like that pattern, I like that groove. So what I want to do is I like to use SERUM in context of trying to like recreate some classic synth sounds. So I like to think about, I like to think about if I were sound designing some sort of techno sound, how would I approach it if I had like an old synthesizer? Because that's where the genre was born. So I want to sound design with that in mind. You can do a bunch of crazy like growls and everything in SERUM. Like you can do so much in SERUM, but I'm just gonna approach it in a really simple way. Real quick. Are those Audeze headphones? Yeah, Audeze LCD-X's. They're amazing. I can wear them all day, never get a headache. I need to be sponsored by them, honestly, at this point. I talk about them so much. What BPM am I on? I'm at 150. So we have this pattern. So I want to use a saw, but I want to get like a saw with a little bit more character. Something that's not so perfect like this. So there's this folder of free wavetables by Trooper. And I'm just going to flip through until I get a nice looking saw that I want. Sounds very similar. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on oscillator B. And I'm going to pick another one and try to find a different looking saw. Just so it has a little bit more character. It's fine. I like that. It just sounds a little different. So what I'm going to do to create a detuned sound is I'm going to take the fine tune of oscillator A and turn it down to -3. I'm going to take the fine tune for oscillator B and turn it up +3. Now we get this phasing sound. So I want to use macro 1 to control how much detune that we're actually adding. So I'm going to drag this to the fine tune of oscillator A, and I'm going to take the range to -25. And then I'm going to drag it to the fine tune of oscillator B and take the range to +25. So now if we call this macro knob detune, as we drag this detune knob up, it's going to slowly tune down oscillator A and slowly tune up oscillator B. So you might be saying there is a unison and detune function on oscillator A. So you can turn up the unison to 2. But as you detune it, each voice is hard pan left and right. So I don't want that. I want the voices to be on top of each other. So there is a way you can change this, I believe. If you go to the global tab and you take the width of oscillator A down all the way, you can get that same effect. But the reason why I don't do that is because I actually like to be able to control the actual waveform of each voice because it will just add a little bit of character to it. So I see somebody in the TikTok comments saying add noise, and that is exactly what I'm going to do next. So if we turn the detune up, it sounds really good. Oh, actually, we got to turn this unison back down to 1. So another character of these analog synths is they had noise in them. So I'm going to turn on the noise oscillator, and noise can just fill in a lot of the gaps. White noise is just every frequency played at the same exact time, I believe. It is just like, if you look at white noise on a frequency spectrum, it is just flat. There's every frequency involved. So there's other noises in here too, like ARP circuit, ARP pink, ARP white. We can pick this J106 chorus. I actually really like this ARP white. So I don't want this to play all throughout the sound. I just want it to play for the beginning. So what I'm going to do is take the level of the noise oscillator all the way down, take envelope 2, drag it to the level, and I'm going to create this short pluck. It's going to sound especially good once we filter down the actual saw. So what I want to do next is go into the matrix, and that modulation that we just added, envelope 2, controlling the level of noise oscillator, I'm going to set the aux source to macro 4, and we're just going to call this noise. So now you can hear that as we drag this macro up, this envelope 2 that's modulating the level of the noise oscillator is coming to life. So the next thing I want to do is turn on the filter, and we are going to route oscillator A and B through the filter. And what I want to do is take envelope 3 and create a shape like this, sustain all the way down, decay at like 400. And I'm going to map this to the cutoff of the filter. So now I want to make my last 2 macros. So I'm going to take macro 2. I'm going to drag this to the cutoff. We're going to call this cutoff. And then I'm going to go to the matrix, and where it says envelope 3 modulating the filter cutoff, I'm going to go to the aux source and set this to macro 3. So this is, again, just basically a dry wet knob. So now we can control the amount that the filter is opening up via the envelope. So we'll call this filter ENV for envelope. So now I want to go to my effects. I'm going to work backwards. I have an effects chain that I really love. So you can actually right click right here. It'll say lock effects chain, load effects chain, save effects chain. I'm going to load effects chain, and I have this one that I've been working on. Let's just hear how it sounds. It's going to sound really loud. So we have this clipper here at the end. I spoke about the clipper before. And basically, this clipper, if you click on any one of these plugins, you'll see that this mix has like this little light gray box around it. You can click on it and switch between a dry wet and a level. So I clicked on the level. I have this set to -1. I'm going to double click on the master and type in -12.1. And now if we hit tab, we take this volume to 0. Let's take this to 0. It's peaking at -1, and that's what I want, because I want the sound to be as loud as possible, and I'm going to use this filter to clip it. So the last modulation we're going to do is we're just going to take the mod wheel, and we're going to map this to the mix of the reverb. And then I'm also going to map this to the delay. So now we have our SERUM patch, and let's listen to it in the context of the song. So maybe we want to make some variation, and I like how this kick and the sigh is happening all at the same time. I'm just going to duplicate the top loops and the lead over. And let's duplicate the claps as well. Let's delete the kick. Let's loop this. I think we could take this sound a little bit further. So what sample packs do you normally use in the videos? I use all different kinds, honestly. I have this Techno pack that I'm working on for Raveyard. A lot of the sounds that I do be using to write, though, definitely come from this Hard Dance Destruction pack. And this is on our site. The sounds are absolutely insane. For instance, like if we wanted to create like a clap loop, like we have a clap here, but it saves me so much more time to like open up this clap generator. A lot of people don't know about, I'm going to move this over. A lot of people don't really understand the Ableton instrument racks. They're the most overpowered things of all time. Yeah, this stuff is on my website, raveyardsounds.com. So I like making a 1-bar loop. Like literally, if I want to make a clap loop, time me how short this takes. New MIDI track, open up the clap generator. I'm gonna make a 1-bar MIDI clip, drag it across, and now we just punch it in. So this has 4 different claps. So if I want to consolidate this, and then we'll make this a 4-bar loop. So if I want, I can change this up. And how I like to do it with the claps, because it's set up so nice, is I like to flip through the presets. That sounds so good. Oh my God, that sounds so good. I love these racks, save me so much time. So I really like this preset. So you can adjust each clap sound just by switching these knobs. So if I hit random, oh. So this one's really good. I love the clap generator. We also have open hat generator, which is the same thing. Just time me on that. Open up the open hat generator. I'm gonna make a 4-bar MIDI clip and just start punching these in. We'll duplicate this across. Like, that sounds so good. Yeah, all these sounds are from the Raveyard packs. All these open hats I made, just like sampling like these virtual drum machines. Like, they're all like based off of like 909s and 707s and different packs. Same thing. Let's do the closed hat generator. New MIDI clip. And I'm just going to make a 1-bar loop, 1-bar MIDI clip, drag it across. And we turn this up. So something else I really like is being able to like automate these. So maybe I want to do something like that. Oh, yeah. Yo, Aaron, so these racks are for sale on our site. So if you go into hard dance, I actually got to fix. Okay, yeah. So if you go into hard dance, they're all in here, these instrument racks. We have a side bass, donk bass, kick one. The kick one's crazy. I'll show the kick one real quick. Kick generator. So I'll turn off the regular kick or I'll turn off the techno kick for now. If we make a 1-bar MIDI clip and we'll make a kick at C3. So you can adjust this kick selector knob. And it's changing different kicks. You can sort of like add a transient if you want it to be a little punchier, snappier. Open up the low pass filter a bit. You can tune the kick up. Tune the kick down and tighten it. So let's actually open up a size scope, because if you might not be able to hear it unless you're using headphones. So I just want to show you what it's actually doing. So this is our kick that's coming out of the kick generator. So we can change the kick, tune it, add a different transient. This low pass filter is nice. Just really tightens it up. What I like to do though is listen and then hit random. So many different kicks that it's generating. It's insane. So yeah, that is the kick generator. And yeah, all these racks are just so much fun. This one's awesome too. I'm gonna beef this one up. So I'm gonna use the Raveyard power rack, synth power. I love this. So I'm gonna actually turn down the effects from the SERUM preset itself. So without it, this does not sound great right now. I'm just doing a bunch of examples. Woo! Jesus Christ. Yeah, that rack is awesome too. That's also in the hard dance destruction racks. So yeah, definitely went over a lot of production today. Talked about Shron's loops, how to make this cool top lead. Went over these awesome hard dance racks that are great. Even though they're for hard dance, I literally use them nonstop for like any genre. Especially the open hat, the clap. There's a donk bass one too. There's some great tom fill ones, which are awesome. Let me actually showcase the toms one because that doesn't get enough love. So something that I really like about the toms is whenever I'm like trying to make tom fills, I'm like looking for toms in my sample browser, and I want them to all sound like similar. So that's what I really like about this tom generator is there's 4 sounds. There's 4 toms. It's all these are synthesized by me too, which I was super stoked on. So this is really cool too. If we open up an imager, there's this pan spread knob right here. And you can see this first tom to the left, slightly less to the left, kind of the right, all the way to the right. And you can adjust these. You can change all of these. So I have these presets already made that are really sick. So we can do. So this is cool too because there's delay. Added delay, we can distort. And my favorite, honestly, is this gated reverb. So all the way down. And if we turn this up, we get that nice like 80s reverb sound. Sounds so sick. I love how these toms came out. Just makes making tom fills so much easier. Like you can select different toms, you can pitch them, you can do all this stuff. So it just makes it, using Ableton effects or using Ableton instruments saves me literally so much time when it comes to producing, because I just have these racks that I can grab and go and just focus on songwriting and not have to like worry about all these other things. So super helpful. Let's just listen to this. What happened to the synth power? Whatever. I love how that sounds. That sounds so good. So I'm going to wrap that all up right there. Now I want to get into listening to your guys' demos. Hopefully we got some demos submitted. If you guys want to hear your song on stream and want to hear me like give feedback or whatever, definitely submit your hop on the Discord and submit your song to this music feedback. And every Thursday I stream, I produce for a little, I talk about different stuff, and then I give feedback on stream. So and it's something I definitely want to say is getting feedback is good, but something that I love to be able to do is I love to hear your guys' music, because it not only inspires me, but like some of you guys are sick. Like some of you guys are really good. Like I've already heard multiple tracks that came from the live stream that I'm signing to my label. And I've seen people that have come to the streams like make friends with each other and start working with each other. So it's really cool, and I just love that like there's this community that we got going on, because that's all I'm really trying to do. I'm just trying to create a community. I want to educate people. I want you guys to educate me. I've learned so much just from like posting TikToks and people messaging me their own tricks, things I had no idea you could do. So it's been really awesome, and I'm super thankful for you guys who interact with the streams, who comment on my videos, who share everything. Like you guys are amazing, and this wouldn't be possible without you guys. So I just wanted to say that. But send your songs to the Discord. My Discord is linked in my TikTok bio. It's also linked in my YouTube bio and my Twitch. My Discord is linked everywhere. Join it there. You guys will find it. And yeah, Will, if you just drop your song in here, and yeah, I'll go over it. So I think let's listen to this one. Oops, hold on. Oh yeah, this is sick. people are in this Discord. Oh, wow. What? That's crazy. I didn't know that. Over 200. That's dope. Ew, this is sick. Shooting a follow. Yo, T-Swan, sorry, I saw your comment before. No, I'm actually working on a production course right now. That's something I want to implement. I want to create like more formal production courses and have those for sale on the site. And yeah, like I'm going to definitely be posting my streams to, I mean, all my streams get posted to YouTube. I'm going to start cutting up YouTube videos as well as TikToks, but I want to do like a formal course. I've had a lot of people request formal courses as well as like webinars and stuff where it's maybe like a more private and more in-depth group where you guys can ask questions and we can dive into your project, stuff like that. I think that would be really cool. Sloodle, yeah, I will. I just... Yeah, this is really sick. All right, I'm gonna go on to the next one. That's really dope. I think if I'm giving feedback, I think just like it's such a cop-out, but it's just like keep going, you know, like your arrangement is good, your ideas are good. You'll get to that point where you start to hear these like little things that you want to add or subtract. And I think that's what your track needs, is just a little bit more character, but that is going to come. That is going to come as you start to produce more. So let's go to the next one. Okay, vibey one. Ben, this is you, right? Yes, Sloodle, go to my Discord and drop the track in the music feedback section. Yeah, this is a vibe. Wow. Sloodle, my Discord you can find in my TikTok bio, as well as just every social media bio that I have. I can't give the link out on stream. Yeah, it's in the link tree. Thank you, Will. Hell yeah, this is sick. This is super vibey. Hell yeah, that was super vibey. I like that a lot. This isn't. Kick is super clean, damn. Yeah, Janks, I don't care if it's released or not released, it doesn't matter. Drop it in the Discord. I think the track could use a bit more at this point to progress. That's just me. I know this is trance, but right at this point, I'm expecting something a little bit like more. Maybe it's like a little bit more of an open hat. This is a really like chill open hat, but I think like something else might be nice. This is sick though. Yo, I can't make my mic louder actually. TikTok won't let me put it louder, and maybe I could. Hold on, let me try something. Let me try something. Yo, 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 testing, 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 testing. Hopefully that's not too loud on, what's it called, OBS now. Let me know if that's better on TikTok. This is super vibey, I really like this. How's my mic on Twitch? Oh, is it clipping? Yeah, it's clipping like crazy. Yo, 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 yo. Yeah, my mic was clipping. I gotta turn it back down. Yeah. This is really vibey. This is just something I feel like I could just drive to for like a long time. The link doesn't work on... Really? For Linktree? Ooh, this part's great. Can I do invite people, copy. Weird. All right, that's fixed. All right, try it now. Sorry about that. It's weird that it worked for other people, not you. Try it now, Sloodle. All right, this is really dope. I'm gonna get on to the next one. Hell yeah. Dun, 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 dun. I think at this point we could probably go cut this from here to here out. Just so the track progresses a little faster. It's really long and it is a little repetitive, but not in a bad way if we can just make it move a little faster. Maybe changing up the lead might be nice. Still a vibe though. Still really enjoying it. Still sick. Nice little reverse bass going on. This is really sick. How long have I been producing? I've been producing for just about 10 years. Been through a few different genres, few journeys. I've been on Ableton probably for 8. Yeah, this is a bop. Yeah, this is awesome. The only feedback I potentially have is that the mix down could be a little bit more exciting and glued, but like honestly, doesn't matter. That's a 2-second fix. I could probably, I mean, it's right there. Like it sounds so good. Really good. Great songwriting, great arrangement. I really like this a lot. Kick sounds great. Really sick. Let's go. Song of the stream so far. Are you in the chat right now? Like, show yourself. This is really good. I will say this mix is very warm, and everything is sounding so good. So like when I said like make it more exciting, I think it could just be an EQ, maybe just maybe EQing the highs up a tad. You could maybe like clip it a bit. I don't know. It sounds really good. I don't want to mess with it. Sounds really good. Great job, man. Keep sending music. Checking the old weather tonight. All right, let's keep going. Wow, great song, great song. Ooh, boomy. Hell yeah. Really cool. I think these next two leads could probably be in the same key. This part is definitely a little smashed, and I think that main lead could probably be in the key of the rest of the song. It's kind of heavy right there. I'm not sure if I really am messing with that part. Ooh, I'm getting tired.
Hanging on my neck, the price it matches a set. My brother named $10, stop all that back and forth over the net. My mama wish I would've went corporate, she wish I would've went exec. I still turn to a CEO, so the lifestyle she respect. Hey, 2 sprinters to Quebec, chef eat food in mon back. They only giving niggas +1, so I never pull up to the Met. You know I gotta bring the set.
Kick sounds really good, I like it.
You know I gotta bring the D, cause you know I sticky it get. You know I sticky it get. You know I sticky it get.
I think you could do a little less sidechain at this part. A lot of techno doesn't have this heavy of sidechain like EDM does.
Hanging on my neck, the price it matches a set. My brother named $10, all that back and forth over the net. My mama wish I would've went corporate, she wish I would've.
Sorry, I'm skipping through just so I can get to everyone's tracks. I gotta be done soon.
Yeah, if I'm with 2 of them, then it's a threesome. She alone, you know she a freak one. It's a S1, it's a police one.
I think you could use a different lead right here.
Yeah, you know it's a Steve one.
But overall, the mix and everything sounds good.
The toughest act follows back on tour. All for made back. Came back through the boy. Damn. That's something to me. Niggas really had they back turned to me. I ain't talking my assistant. When I stay niggas down the back something for me.
Sounds really good though. I really like that kick. All right, let's go on to the next one. I only have time for a few more. Oof, we got a lot. All right, I'm going to, where were we? I'm gonna do like 3 more, and then I'll get to I'll get to the rest of them on the next stream.
You can take it once and never have to take it again.
All right, there's only I'll do up to this one, and then the rest that gets sent, I'll do again. Damn, it's 2 yeah, oh yeah, it is 2 a.m. in the Netherlands. Damn, is it 7 hours ahead? Damn, I didn't know that. I might have to start doing this earlier.
Psilocybin is not a narcotic, mushroom and cannabis is not a narcotic, because these substances tend to do something very different.
All right, Salute, I'll do yours next. This is vibey. I think it just needs like a little bit more presence in the kick.
You can take it once and never have to take it again.
Part's cool. How to push a kick? It's just with good sound design or good sample selection. Right now, this is like all low end.
Something very different.
Yeah, kick needs more punch. That's cool though. It definitely has a really cool vibe to it. All right. Steel, you're here. It's a smacker. Ooh, God, your acid processing's always so good. Hell yeah. Yo, if you're talking about my music, just go to my SoundCloud. I just put out some new music last month. Steel, make this part longer. You have a full song, make it into like 5 minutes. It's not processing so good. Hell yeah, that's awesome. What just happened? Oh, it's over. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think it just needs a little bit more of a mix down. But yeah, if it's a sketch, I think I'm digging it. All right, I'm gonna listen to these last two. Artist for Next Dimensions was Amagi. Go follow. Vibe. I really like this. Hell yeah, this is really cool. I'm gonna do... Yeah, this one's gonna have to be the last one. I gotta go. Sick kick.
I think too much.
Hell yeah. And yo, the streams are every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern time. This rips. I really like this. Hell yeah, that's really dope.
Vandaag docentendag. Heb je een lievelingsdocent?
Awesome. Well, yo, that concludes this stream. I really appreciate you guys sticking it out with me. Super great tracks that you guys submitted. And yeah, I stream every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern time. If you're interested in any of the sounds that we have for sale, any of the racks I showed you, go to raveyardsounds.com. We got a bunch of products. Hard Dance Destruction Production Suite, 50% off right now. Super good deal. So yeah, I appreciate you guys, and I'm going to be live again next Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern time. So I'll see you guys there. Thank you for stopping in. Later.